Welcome, everyone. This is your Knoxville Beer Board. Today is Tuesday, November 28th, 2025. Welcome, everyone here, and to those watching at home. Mr. Johnson, will you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Fugit.
Here.
Councilwoman Helsley. Councilwoman McKenzie. Councilwoman Parker. Councilwoman Ryder.
Here.
Councilman Roberto.
Here.
Councilwoman Singh. Vice Mayor Smith.
Here.
And Councilman Thomas.
Here.
7 members present, Chair.
Thank you. The minutes of the last meeting were distributed by email. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, the minutes stand approved as distributed. Mr. Johnson, do we have anyone signed up for public forum germane to today's agenda?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. Seeing as no one is signed up for public comment, we will move on. The next matters of business are items to be postponed or withdrawn. Mr. Byrd, are there any applicants requesting a postponement?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Byrd, are there any applicants requesting a withdrawal?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much. We will now move on to reports of officers. First is Chair, myself. I just want to confirm for everyone in the public and for members of the Beer Board, the December Beer Board meeting is December 9th. You have another Beer Board meeting for the year 2026. Thank you. I expect your attendance. That is all I have to report at this moment. Next, Officer Presley, Beer Inspector.
I have nothing to report on this.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Johnson, the clerk's report.
Yes, Council, or Beer Board rather, you have a report included in your packet. There were a total of 4 noncompliance complaints filed in the recent past. 2 have been resolved. Those were Tupelo Honey Cafe and Amelia. Both have paid their fines, and those cases are closed. There have been 2 new cases opened, Brother Wolf and Weigel's number 84 on Chapman Highway. Both of these cases arose out of a failure to pay a fine by the deadline, by the due date. So those non-compliance complaints have been filed and hearings have been scheduled for middle of December. Beneath that, there is a report about the beer fund. There's been some revenue received for this fiscal year, and we're continuing to see revenues brought in, and not many expenses, but there may be an expense after City Council this evening. There's a proposed memorandum of understanding with Metro Drug Coalition that will hit this beer fund if that were to pass. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. Before we get started, I have a few announcements. When I call the names of the businesses applying for the permit, please come to the podium. State your name and address clearly for the microphone, clearly for the record. Applicants who are approved pending final documentation, you need to bring your completed documents to the business tax office during regular business hours. Applicants that have their permit approved tonight can pick up their permit at the end of the meeting from Mr. Byrd here at the desk. If you are approved pending final documentation, that means 1 or more of your requirements are incomplete for a beer board permit. In order to get your certificate of occupancy, which is common, you may need to do a number of things, and those may include zoning changes, meeting parking requirements, submitting architectural drawings to plans review and inspections, or making modifications to your structure or site. This may entail hiring an architect and/or a contractor and submitting plans for your site review. Mr. Johnson, I believe, from the building department is not here this evening, but Mr. Byrd has his card, so if you get one of those pending final documentation and certificate of occupancy is on the docket for you, Mr. Byrd can give you Mr. Johnson's card if you have questions and need help getting there. Okay, finally, as I'm chairing the meeting, other members will make motions in the 4th District. And now let's get started. All right, so our first is Elaine's Tavern, Roberta Davis Schaffner. The microphone is already on, so you don't have to push the button. Welcome to the Beer Board. Name and address for the record.
7614 Central Avenue Park, Suite H,
3791, or 37849.
Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, your name, though.
Roberta Elaine Davis Schaffner.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, Officer Presley,
No record.
Mr. Byrd,
We need the sales tax registration and certificate of occupancy.
okay.
Been made, and I will move to approve pending final documentation.
I have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is MAPCO 882, Radhi Krishna, 7301 Middlebrook Pike. Do I have anybody here from MAPCO 882? Viral Patel, Bonnie Patel, Neil Patel, Ravi Patel. Okay, let's move that to the end and we'll come back to it in case they are late. Next is Ricky's Lore Libations, 1520 Washington Avenue. Name and address for the record, please.
Name is Jocelyn Moran, and address is 1520 Washington Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37917.
All right, thank you so much. Officer Presley,
No record.
Mr. Byrd,
We need the sales tax registration, certificate of occupancy, and health department approval.
Okay.
Move to approve pending final documentation.
okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you so much. Next is the local market, number 107, Hackney Petroleum. William Sampson? Yes. Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Tom Deggs, General Manager, Hackney Petroleum, 317 Trayburn Drive.
All right, thank you, sir. Officer Presley,
No record.
Mr. Byrd,
We just need the certificate of occupancy and Department of Agriculture approval.
okay.
So I'll approve pending documentation.
All right, so I have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor? All right, anyone opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Western Avenue Shell. Name and address
Yes,
for the
my
record.
name is Divyansh Kumar Patel, and the address is 4418 Western Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37921.
Okay, name and address for the record. Oh, you already did that part. Sorry, thank you. Officer Presley,
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need the certificate of occupancy, Department of Agriculture approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
Okay.
Okay, I'll approve pending documentation, proper documentation.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna come back. I haven't seen anyone new enter. Was MAPCO 882 at 7301 Middlebrook Pike? Anyone show up for MAPCO 882? Mr. Byrd, have you heard from anyone there recently?
Yes, I understood from Mr. Viral Patel that he was going to attend, but
Okay.
something may have
Well-
delayed him, so.
Yeah, let's, I was gonna say, would you happen to be Mr. Patel? Yes. You had no idea. Are you with MAPCO 882? Yes. Please come to the podium. It's like they cued you to come in. They were holding you out. Enter stage left or right, I don't know which it is. Okay, name and address for the record, please, sir.
My name is Viral Patel. The address of the store is 7301 Middlebrook Pike, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Thank you, sir. Officer Presley,
No record.
Mr. Byrd.
We need the certificate of occupancy, Department of Agriculture approval, and surrender of the existing permit.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
I will approve pending formal, proper documentation.
Gotcha. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further questions, discussion? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Sorry about the delay.
That's okay. You only had to be here for 1 minute, and we got it. 2 minutes. Okay. Now we will move on to our administrative hearings. Our first one, 10A, is Buckethead Tavern. If I could have someone from Buckethead Tavern, please come to the podium. State your name and address for the record, please.
Address of the establishment?
That will do, sure.
Yes. My name is Troy Hale. I'm the former owner.
Okay.
And our address is 8039 Ray Mears Boulevard, Knoxville 37919.
Okay. Mr. Frost, it's been a little bit since we've had a administrative hearing, so if we could just remind people what our options are.
Sure, thank you, Chair. This is the first of 3 administrative hearings tonight, so what I'm going to say applies equally to all of them. These are businesses that have, are permit holders, businesses that had 2 underage sales within a rolling 2-year period. Each time you are caught with an underage sale, you're supposed to submit pay a fine and submit your remedial plan. Once you pick up that second violation in a 2-year period, you come here to the beer board meeting. Here at the beer board, this gentleman, as well as everyone else after him, will have the opportunity to explain their situation. They will have the opportunity to talk about, if they want, how they failed. They have the opportunity to talk about what they're going to do to correct the situation where hopefully it will not happen again. All of these businesses have submitted remedial plans. The beer board can ask questions about the remedial plan, and then ultimately, the beer board is going to need to decide one of 2 things. One, if the person making the presentation and the remedial plan that they have submitted is satisfactory, you think they have adequately addressed the problems, and you hope that the business is going to not have an underage sale again. And at that point, you would take no action, and the matter ends right there, provided they don't pick up another citation on down the road. However, you do not think that the remedial plan is adequate, you do not think the person is explaining and saying that you think they are adequately going to address a situation where you think there's a chance that they are going to have another underage sale, or they're not sincere about their efforts to thwart underage sales, the option is to send the business on to a hearing, which is conducted by an administrative hearing officer, a neutral party, and the law department would take over and file a non-compliance complaint. Then there's a procedure that's set forth in Chapter 4 of the code where the hearing would be conducted and it would be out of the hands of the beer board.
All right, thank you so much. Councilman Roberta?
Thank you, Chair. So we've got here 2, not just 2 citations within a 2-year period, but within a 1-year period. They both happen in October.
They actually both happen on the same date. They happen on the Alabama football game.
Yeah, there you go. You basically 1 day off, 10/19 and 10/18 in 2 different years. So can you tell us about what happened and what you plan on doing to address this so it doesn't happen again?
Absolutely, and first and foremost, thank you all for what you do. A quick, extreme thank you to Officer Presley. She has been very, very helpful through this process, and we plan on following a lot of what we have been instructed. We know this is the game we're in. We're big boys and girls, but please understand, Buckethead Tavern has been in business. We're in our 14th year. We went 12 years with not only not having a citation, but regularly receiving accolades from KPD because underage officers or cadets were in and we did the right thing. But we failed on that these last two. They both happened when you're knee-deep in the weeds during the Alabama game. That's not an excuse, that's just an explanation. This is a side, but our first citation, I would challenge or just question how that goes about because the bartender opened a beer, asked for an ID, took his hand off the beer when he asked for the ID, and we got hit. Again, all I ask is that maybe it's not going to save us, but maybe moving forward, the intent was never to do that. It's not like we want to go around selling alcohol to minors, but because it was on top of the bar, the bottle cap was taken off, his hand was off, and he said, "May I see your ID?" They got us. That was last year. Same game, we're 6 deep at the bar, and a young lady who is very capable, very good, but is brand new to serving. She'd only been employed by us for the last 30 days. Asked everyone in their group except one, and that one was the wrong one. And she is very remorseful, but remorseful doesn't help when you're dealing with selling alcohol to minors. We now make it mandatory that any new applicant for Buckethead Tavern must go through the Metro Drug Coalition serving serving to underage or serving to minors. They have to complete that before they are even considered for employment. And in fact, since this happened, we've had every server, manager, and bartender get certified, and I've got copies of their certificates through that recommendation from Officer Presley and KPD. It's never going to be perfect, but I ask that you consider our longevity and the accolades that we have had, and we have an updated plan that every new front-of-house employee must sign and adhere to as employment for Buckethead Tavern. And as an establishment that's a tax base or a tax-paying base, I want to apologize to you all that we did not succeed in that at the Alabama game.
When I'm looking through the packet we have in front of us, so one of the questions I had is, do you have a point-of-sale software where it actually scans the IDs as they come in? Because I can understand, especially when you're having something like the number of customers like you would at watching the Alabama game, it could be difficult, right, to manage all of the folks that are there. But you can there's a system where you can scan the IDs and it tells the server this person you don't even have to do the math, it just tells you. Have you ever considered or have that software in your establishment?
So we use a spinoff of Toast. We use a company called Spot On, and I would surely think they would have that available. No, we have not done that, but we will absolutely look into that.
Okay. And then the other part that concerned me with the remedial servers compliance plan is that under Section 6, under ongoing education, you talk about your policies will be reviewed by the staff at least quarterly to reinforce. So based on what you're describing to us with, the issues you were having that led to these 2 citations, do you not think you should have more than quarterly reviews of your policy? Oftentimes, I'm recommending, why don't you do a policy review at the beginning of each shift? Why don't you also consider having like a secret shopper program where somebody comes in and tries to see if somebody's doing these things? But you see where I'm getting at. You've had
totally
2 of these in 1 year, so is there not something more that we need to be doing to make sure this doesn't happen?
So, and that suggestion is well taken. Trey Carroll, who is the new owner, I'll still have minority ownership moving forward, but he's already gone there. And I don't want to speak for him, but they plan on, they're going to go after some secret shopper that come in period, especially during busy times. Because please understand, we take this as serious as you do. It's never been an intent. To me, it's one thing if you intentionally serve someone underage or you just neglect to do it. But when your intent is to do the right thing, our folks try that. And they are going to add something to the effect of someone coming in, just as ours to keep check on it. We always have pre-shift meetings before a large event, before when we know we're crowded. They will meet together as a front of house staff, and one of the things they go over is definitely check, check, check.
Okay. So what I would have liked to have seen in the server compliance plan is the things that we're talking about being referenced directly and not, something we see often in beer applications for a license where it just says we're going to review this quarterly. So I'm not really comfortable taking no action here. So I'll make a motion to send to a hearing, and certainly my colleagues can either support that or not. At the hearing, I think you could bring a new server compliance plan where you say, I'm going to be doing these things and this is not going to happen again, and I would wish you all the luck, but...
So may I ask you this? So our longevity, our base here holds no weight there? And
what I'm basing it on is what's in the packet, and it is not saying the things that I would want to see if I see violations happening twice in a year. So that's my position on it. And, my colleagues can support that or not, but we do take this seriously. And
I do too.
I think you are as well, and I appreciate your comments today, but I would have liked to have seen this reflected in the server compliance.
So how does this affect the new ownership moving forward?
Mr. Frost can answer the question about going to the hearing.
In other words, do I need to come or does the new owner need to come?
That's all I had. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, sir.
First, Mr. Roberto's motion hasn't been seconded yet, so what I'm saying might be premature. But it was who's on the beer permit. You can ask the law department because the beer board will be through with this no matter the outcome tonight, whether it's accepted or whether it's referred on. I'm guessing it's going to be the people who are on the beer permit.
So, yeah, the new beer permit was just issued, I believe, on October 31st, because that's the date that ownership changed.
Mr. Byrd,
I'm sorry, ma'am. Yes.
I guess maybe it's a question, and Mr. Vice Mayor Smith has his light on. Has a permit been turned in or applied for with new ownership?
Well, exactly. Yeah, this gentleman's permit has been surrendered to the business tax office because a new ownership had previously been before the board, was approved pending final documentation, and then later, achieved the things they needed to pick up their permit. So this entity is no longer the owner of the Buckethead Tavern. They've surrendered that permit.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Smith.
Yeah, this is the first time since been on the beer board where I'd heard the scenario where if the beer is placed on the counter, but then ask for ID, but the beer isn't given.
It's my understanding had he set it on the cooler behind, and you know what? He's a big boy. They learned this. It was just in the heat of everything. Instead of on the cooler, he put it on top of the bar.
So my question is for Officer Presley. Can you explain the process for this? Because I kind of appreciate where you're coming from, where the intent was to do right. Just kind of, may I see your right? I mean, the amount of
and
time.
he was flustered because
it makes sense to me that you just kind of want at the same time it happens. So Officer Presley, could you explain?
I can explain.
Yeah.
I wasn't the officer that was actually inside when it was served. There was another officer in plain clothes, and I don't have anything in my report indicating that was the situation. That was not what was relayed to me that night. It was relayed to me that he was not ID'd. So I would really have to get that other officer in here to explain that as to if
What
that
is
happened.
the process or
But
policy? of
he is
keeping-
correct that it could happen that way. If he had actually sat down an alcoholic beverage in front of that underage person and then asked them for ID, then by law, they would have been served. So
Okay.
that is true.
Okay.
Just like he was talking about a whole table or a group
Sure.
of people was ID'd in the next scenario, that's not correct either. We had a couple that went in, a female officer and a male cadet that went in,
Okay.
and he ordered beer, and they were not ID'd.
Thank you for that. This is
Yes.
new to me, so thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Councilman Thomas?
Yeah, just for clarity, so you're no longer the owner?
No, sir.
Are you managing the business?
No, sir.
Question for Mr. Frost.
Thank
If we send this to the administrative hearing, who would be the proper party to appear?
It would be the people on the beer permit. I mean, I thought, actually, you said you were a minority owner now?
I am, but no, I am not an owner. I'm being paid, I'm acting as the bank for them.
Okay. But
I have no ownership, but I'm going to be around the next 5 years.
okay. So you're not an owner, they're paying you off?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I understand, thank you.
You're buying his equity
Yeah.
over a 5-year period. Owner financed.
So the people, I mean, I'll leave it up to the law department. First, there still hasn't been a second. Don't know if there's going to be a second. But if it is sent to a hearing officer, the law department will make the determination as the law department is responsible for filing the non-compliance complaint.
Okay. I'm thinking that if the new owner appears at the hearing board, it would be the new owner who would present whatever remedial plans that they would have, and they would have an opportunity to show how continuing their practice or their business would be a elevation of what's been in the past. So I'm still trying to sort this out.
Mr. Frost, can you clarify that?
Thank you. I believe this gentleman who was on the beer permit at the time, you were.
Yes, sir. I was on the beer permit for 13 years.
I think he would be able to appear. It's like a miniature hearing. The people with Buckethead Tavern can have their own witnesses there, the ones they see fit to have there. So it would, the law department is going to follow the process that they believe is legally compliant under Chapter 4 of the code. I don't know what process they're going to follow because they're the ones who prepare the non-compliance complaint. I am not involved in that at all. But no matter Buckethead, it's up to them who appears and can talk about the situation. It's up to them who can talk about, this is our remedial plan. This is how we're going to address the situation. It's beyond what this beer board will be doing.
May I speak?
Well,
No.
Mr. Hale,
No.
we'll call on you. Hold on just a moment. I have several lights on here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Fugit.
Thank you. I'm confused, clearly. Is Buckethead, regardless of ownership, in trouble for this? Because to me, what we've done before is you can lose your beer license. And they've surrendered the license that they had when these things happened because ownership changed. So I'm trying to figure out if you did that and somebody bought it, regardless of the hearing, they could sell beer because the new owner has the beer permit. So I'm not a lawyer. And in plain clothes human being thing, it's like, who's being punished?
The former owner may be subject to a fine.
Okay.
I have paid $5,000 to TABC and $1,000 to the city of Knoxville for a mistake that was made by a brand-new employee. And I'm not minimizing that,
Okay.
but the financial damage has hit hard.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Hale.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Fugit.
Thank you. That's all. Yeah, our questions are for our attorney, so I appreciate you
Yes, ma'am.
sharing
Thank you.
your opinion, but
Okay,
thank you.
okay. Councilwoman McKenzie.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm still a little bit fuzzy on this. So this gentleman, it happened under his watch, he's paid the fines. Can he still speak for the current owners who now hold the license, and they are ultimately responsible for the actions moving forward?
I'm not sure, because the current owners would pick and choose who they want to represent them, whether, I guess, maybe potentially this gentleman, if they want to retain counsel, if they wanted to appear themselves. Does that answer your question?
Okay. So, sir, they have asked you to be the representative, and you are authorized, whatever decisions are made or suggest recommendations that you take back to them, and they are going to implement those.
They're already implementing. And I came thinking that it was obviously this was under my watch because it was 10 days before the changeover happened. And it's the last thing in the world we thought would happen, and it happened. So make no mistake, we addressed it. The very next day, we had a mandatory all-employee, kitchen and everyone, and there was hell to pay. So they all found out that day what they were required to do to all go through this recertification process, and every single front of house person has done that, and now moving forward. And I apologize, sir, that wasn't put on the remedial plan, but every new employee, because it's kind of liquid right now, but every new employee has to take that and sign it, knowing that it is immediate termination if they ever fail that.
Right. And I do want to say that I do commend you for the years that you had no incidents.
Thank you very much.
With the level of the crowds that come in there, especially on game days and when there's big events going on, that you guys had not had an incident prior to these two that were there. And just, very unfortunate, because all it takes is one time, if someone underage truly were to come in there and get served, there's those consequences.
I promise you, we take it very serious, and I make no excuses. In bringing up the action with the beer bottle, I guess that's just me thinking, wow, that's really tough, because our intent is never that. But that's, you know what? Our staff knows that's the way it's supposed to be, and so we have to abide by that.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, just want to, Councilwoman Thomas, but before, just remind everybody, we have a motion on the floor and no second. Councilman Thomas.
I think this would be better heard in front of the administrative hearing. And it's not that I think that Buckethead should lose their license. I just think with the change in ownership, the kind of shared responsibility, plus the remedial plan, I think it would be more effective at the administrative hearing level if you could get some continuity about the remedial plan that you submitted here. And I do agree with my colleague, Mr. Roberto, that there was more on your remedial plan that I would like to have seen. And then if the new owner wants to appear, he can add to that or assure the administrative hearing that he's going to continue with the remedial plan and do it better. So I'm going to second co-counsel's motion, but it's not necessarily that I think that your action warrants a revoking of the beer permit, because I understand the circumstances and duly noted the 12 years. I just think with the kind of the different nuances here, it would be better if the administrative hearing board heard it, and it would also give you a chance, and/or the new owner, to add or bolster your remedial plan between now and then. So I'm going to second my colleague's motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I have one question, though. Ms. Lemons, can I ask you a question? What training does MDC offer for, that was mentioned, server training? Yes, ma'am, that's the only way we'll hear you. Oh, it's not on. You'll have to go to the podium? Okay, you'll have to go to the podium. Mr. Hale will have to share.
We have a 15-minute fake ID training online, and it's also preventing underage sales. I actually gave them a consultation about a year ago, the manager, Moana Fine, and I was able to get her that link then.
Okay, appreciate it, thank you. So it's online, it's not in person, so everybody can do it from work, they don't have to come to you. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, so I have a motion on the floor and a second. Any further questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, we have one abstention, 2 abstentions. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. 7 in favor, 2 against. Thank you. All right. Next, thank you. Our next is Brd R Markets Incorporated. And if I've said that incorrectly, please correct me. 2734 Whittle Springs Road.
Good evening, members of the Beer Board. My name is Dylan Zinzer of the Knoxville Bar. I'm counsel for the owner of Brd R Market, Brd R. The address for this business is 2734 Whittle Springs Road, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37917.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So we have, hang on just a second. Let me pull that up. Let me get the right one up. So sorry. Mr. Frost, this again is a administrative hearing, so the same as you cited before.
Yes, for this one and the next one.
Okay. So we have, all right. Just checking to see if anybody. Okay, sir, if you want to, I'm trying to pull it up and I keep clicking on the wrong things. Incident report, thank you so much. So we have two services. Officer Presley, could you give us some information about the incident?
Yes, the first sale was on February 21st of 2025, and then we had a second sale on October 18th of 2025.
So 2 in a 1-year period?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you guys have given us the remedial plan here. That's what's been passed around. This is a supplement to the remedial plan that was in our packets. Is that correct?
That was submitted today. It was not included.
Okay. So council members, what has just been passed out was not?
It was emailed this afternoon.
Okay.
And that is a preliminary matter, but I wanted to clarify for members of the board. Mr. Brd R did submit a remedial plan on November 17th. It was prior to my formal representation. I had consulted with Mr. Brd R prior to my formal representation on his case, and so the preliminary remedial plan had been filed, and upon being retained and speaking to Mr. Brd R, we looked at it, and I felt that it was in need of supplementing, that we needed to add to it, and we had conversation about that. And I was formally retained yesterday, so the supplement was submitted today. It was submitted in consultation with Mr. Brd R. And I guess preliminarily, I just want to state to the board, I want everybody to understand I'm not trying to run afoul of the board's requirements that any such remedial plan be submitted within 5 business days of this meeting. It was just a situation that a plan was submitted, and I believe that it needed to be bolstered, and Mr. Brd R agreed with me, and in my consultation with him, we did submit this supplement. And so I guess as a preliminary matter, I just wanted the board to understand the timeline of things and why the supplement was filed today.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or discussion? Councilman Roberta?
So, Mr. Frost, this plan was not submitted on time? Is that correct?
Well, there's one in my packet. I mean, if a plan is not submitted on time, or a fine's not paid on time, it automatically goes to the hearing officer.
Okay. Oh, I guess what you're telling me is this was not, there is a plan because it's in the packet, but okay, now I understand.
They've decided to beef it up.
This is a supplemental.
This is the supplement. So can you talk to us about specifically what you're going to do to not have this happen again? Because you've had 2 in a several-month period in the same year, so within 8 months of each other. So what are you actively going to do to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Thank you, Councilman Roberto. And for the benefit of the board, I just want everybody to know, Mr. Adar, he's just still difficult for him to talk to large groups, and that's why I'm here helping him out. But we have discussed this, and I feel qualified to answer that question on his behalf. What happened with both of these violations, and I will note preliminarily, Mr. Adar has held a beer license for 12 years, and of course, it is of great concern that there are these 2 violations within a 1-year period. Simply stated, both of these incidents arose from lack of training being given to new employees. The Brd R Market, it's a small convenience store. There's 3 employees in total, counting Mr. Adar, who's the owner. In both of these instances, there was a new employee. It was different employees, but they were both new employees at the time that this had happened, that these violations had occurred. And with the latest violation, what had happened was that there was a new employee who was working by himself. Mr. Adar's wife, Noura Adar, who's present here, she's not a formal employee, but she does help with the operation of the business. She has 3 children, and on the day that this new violation occurred, Miss Adar was supposed to be supervising this new employee. And the new employee was left on their own during a very busy time period. And my understanding of the events that transpired that led to that violation was that there was a drive-through at this business, and there was a car that had 2 individuals inside of it. I believe it was a younger gentleman and an older gentleman. This new employee saw that the older gentleman was present in the car, and he didn't feel the need to check the ID for the individuals that were in the car based on the appearance of the person's age. Now, we know that's not the standard that's supposed to be followed, and Mr. Adar recognizes that there needs to be more training on the front end of these employees. Not only more training on the front end, but also more supervision as these employees grow into long-term employees. I mentioned earlier there are 3 total employees at the business. There's the other, if Mr. Adar is the first employee, the second employee is a longtime veteran employee. And the longtime veteran employee and Mr. Adar haven't had these issues. It's always been really the junior new employee who's been part of the business. And so what we detailed in our supplement, Mr. Adar has ensured that this new employee has undergone the Responsible Tennessee Vendor class using the list of approved training programs from the Tennessee.gov ABC website. They have also, currently the market is using a digital app to scan IDs. They have purchased the equipment to install digital app reader, a cash register scanner that will scan the IDs at the point of sale. That equipment has been purchased. I believe it was quite expensive, but it's been purchased. It's just awaiting installation. While that installation is pending, an app is being used to achieve the same purpose. Additionally, a camera system that I know Ms. Adar told me cost $10,000. They've had it installed in the business, and it has complete audio and video access for Ms. Adar. So part of moving forward, aside from just the baseline training that the employees are receiving, there's an effort now to make sure that there's at least 2 people working inside of the business. But if there's a situation where an employee has to be by themselves, with this new camera system that's installed, Ms. Adar can see and hear everything that happens in the business, and she's able to communicate readily with the employees. So if there is a situation where she has to go pick up the children or do anything like that, there's still oversight and communication that is occurring.
I
with
want
the
to make
employees.
sure there's time for my colleagues to answer or ask questions as well. I think it is very good that you have already taken an active step in purchasing the ID scanner. And what you're talking about is scanning an ID and it tells you this person is or is not able to purchase. Is that correct? Okay. So that was something we heard discussed before. Certainly, I'm glad that you've submitted this supplement, that it's in writing that you're doing that. You've already taken active steps to move in that direction. The part that still concerns me, though, is the 8-month period of 2 services, and you're identifying lack of training and needing more supervision. So I'll let my colleagues ask as well, because I don't want to take up the entire time. But I am glad that you have the ID scanner. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any further questions? Mr. Zenzer, Mr. Adar, so the 2 incidences were different employees. I can't see but one of the most recent citation.
That's correct, Your Honor, or I'm sorry, I'm too used to being in court. Madam Chair, that is correct. But it arises from the same systemic, or the same issue that we
It's a
have
part-time
identified.
employee, not one of the,
A junior, they were both junior, the junior-most employees, different employees. I believe the employee who was working at the business at the time of the February violation, are they still employed there? No. The first employee is no longer employed with the market. A new employee was hired after the fact, and then that's what was occurring when the August violation was incurred.
all right, hang on a second. We still have another administrative hearing that we got to get through too.
Yes.
So just bear with me for a second. Officer Presley, can you help clarify for me? I'm a little confused by the testimony here about multiple people in the car and who got carded. Do you have any clarity about that? So there's what they should be doing in terms of older people and younger people in a car?
Yes, that particular car had 4 people in it. There was 2 officers in it, an officer in the front passenger seat and an officer in the back passenger seat, and there was 2 cadets in there. One was driving the car, that is who purchased the beer. There happened to be another cadet in the back also. They should be carding the individual that is purchasing. There was 2 employees in the store at that time. There was one working at the window, and there was another one that was in the back. We didn't speak to the gentleman in the back. We just spoke to the gentleman we cited because that was the one that we had, the situation with. But they should be carding the individual that is purchasing the beer. They should not be concerned about anyone else there.
So, Mr. Zenzer, did I hear you say that the gentleman didn't card because he saw the older gentleman in the car?
That was my.
Just want to make sure I understood.
That was my understanding, Madam Chair, and one thing I just want to clarify for the record, Ms. Adar indicated the other individual who was in the store was a friend of the employee who was on duty at that time. There weren't 2 actual employees inside of the business.
Okay.
Madam Chair?
Yes,
I have
please.
a question very quickly.
Yes.
Did both incidents happen through the drive-through?
Yes, ma'am, they did. They were both drive-through incidents. I think the first time we were there, the inside of the store, I don't believe was open. They unlocked it and let me in. The second time, the inside was open, but it was also through the drive-through.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I think one of my concerns with the remedial plan is there's nothing specific, and I'm not sure what the answer is, to drive-through. And I think there's a large responsibility when we're selling through a window like that. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit different. Someone's not coming into the store necessarily. And so this places kind of a broad responsibility on the individual selling to those who are coming through. So I think, so Mr. Frost, our options here are to do nothing or to send it for an administrative hearing?
That is correct, to the hearing officer.
I All right, I'll make a motion to send it for an administrative hearing, and I would hope through that process, you guys could maybe refine and merge these remedial plans and maybe have the scanner installed.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? All right, ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Next is Taco Madres Taqueria and Bar, 2916 Knoxville Center Drive. We have anybody here from Taco Madres? Oh, so sorry. It's getting crowded in here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
T. Scott Jones, attorney, senior partner, Banks & Jones, 2125 Middlebrook Pike, here in beautiful Knox Vegas.
All right, thank you so much.
Here on behalf of Taco Madres, I think we sort of went to what I consider to be extraordinary lengths relative to our remediation plan. We have developed what we have characterized as a care plan, and that being, I'm always big on acronyms as far as compliance, accountability, responsibility, and enforcement. We've also taken steps beyond what I think would ordinarily be expected when one is dealing with his employees. We've got a zero tolerance of policy, basically applies not only to minors, but also failure to scan any patron's ID. So across the board, we've also gone ahead and invested and immediately implemented ID scanners. And so that being said, a fail to scan is a zero tolerance now at Taco Madres. If someone comes in there, asks for an alcoholic beverage, and their ID is not scanned, whether or not they're an adult and they roll in there and they're 90 years old, or they're, underage, and the employee fails to scan them, they're going to be terminated. Relative to that, previously, there were not necessarily consequences associated with that. And so that is the accountability and the enforcement by Taco Madres relative to that. We did invest a serious infrastructure in purchasing these ID scanners, which are going to be able to be utilized by all employees. There are 12, if you will, restaurant employees and 6 that at various times, obviously they're not all working at the same times, work in the bar area. It is a unfortunate set of circumstances that occurred. Obviously, they take responsibility. I do note that our plan was filed timely, at least as far as the stamp, as far as on the 18th. And we do believe that with this policy in place, also with the fact that we're having regular employee meetings and that this is emphasized and that these employees understand that flatly that they have to completely comply, because it is not only a danger to the public if somebody is underage served, but it is a situation that is against the law and offensive, obviously, on a variety of levels. I do think that the actions that have been taken by Taco Madre are at least above and beyond relative to the same, and they take pride in their business model. And they hope that the actions that they've taken will be such that the council will consider, the board, adequate remediation to deal with this and address the problems in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Officer Presley, when I'm looking here at the incident report, I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. It looks like with this particular incident, Mr. Jones, you can correct me if I'm misunderstanding, but Officer Presley, what I see here is that the cadets were, I assume, carded at the door, and they were marked with X's on their hands. And there's a wristband and hand marking system. Is that at the door, and they check IDs there?
Yes, correct. They'd use like a doorman or door checking system, and the cadet and the officer went in. The cadet was marked at the door as underage. They marked her hands, and she was given a wristband. I think actually the owner herself made contact with her up there at after security had made contact with her, checked her again, and then she went on in and she was served at the bar.
So, Mr. Jones, I don't understand how the scanners are going to help when the ID was correctly identified and X's were applied to the hand to someone that shouldn't have been served, and then they were still served.
As a young man of fraternity origins, I'll tell you, the X's aren't ever going to work. They're going to have to be individually scanned at the time they're done. I mean, we used to put those X's and deal with those things. I mean, the reality of it is, that's why you get smarter mouses and better mousetraps. So now they're actually going to be scanned in place when they do it. Not only are they going to be checked as far as dealing with the door, everything of that nature, that system can effectively be defeated. It's an unfortunate situation where an individual there at the bar failed to follow up, failed to verify. That individual's been dealt with summarily relative to it, but now they will have to be ID'd effectively at the time of service, as opposed to having a blanket type policy. And I don't mean to make light of that, not to say I think the statute's well run on that, me being 59 years old, but I think the drinking age was 19 when I was there. And literally, we used to defeat it all the time. And that's just the reality of the situation. And so unless you have those handheld scanners and you can do it, you can check it right there, then you're subject to it. So that's why they've made the capital investment to do that and to make sure that this doesn't occur in the future.
I'm going to call on Councilwoman McKenzie.
So just to be clear, so both of those things were in place, which to me seems like those were some really great steps to have in place where it's visible, even though you're stating that that can be avoided. I just want to confirm the employee was terminated, correct?
It's my understanding they're no longer involved there with regards to the operation of the business.
And so you're confirming it?
That is my understanding based upon information and belief, and
Thank you.
obviously the permit holder is as well with regards to that. So they are no longer there, but we have also instituted that blanket policy. And so again, I don't want you to think any of my personal experience, and certainly not at Taco Madre, it wasn't around, were there. And yes, it is, you try to do your best, and then you've got to figure it out. And then if you've got the server having a handheld unit where they can scan that ID right then it doesn't matter what happens at the door. What have you done for me lately? What are you doing when you're getting, if you will, the request for the alcoholic beverage?
Ms. Hernandez, can I ask a question? I'm so sorry, I'm butting in. Was the individual cited for serving not a relative or your husband?
Yes, he was cited.
You fired your husband? He's not allowed to work the bar anymore?
No, he paid a fine.
Okay. I fired my husband from a couple of
It
things.
was a pass and dismiss.
Some things he's no good at.
It was a pass and dismiss, and he paid the fine associated with that, but he's not going to be associated with the serving and the issues with regards to business.
Okay. Anybody have, we can take no action or we can send it to a remedial plan or a hearing. So sorry. Did I get that right? Probably not. Okay. I'm going to take no action at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further business before the board, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.